Well, hey, everybody, welcome back. We're doing another race today, but we're going to do something a little different. Today, not only are we going to turn left, we're also going to turn right. Crazy. Today, we're going to work on the Chicago street race. This is a very, very challenging track, at least for me. Uh, but it's also that's the fun in it. It's trying to figure out the best way to do it. We are still doing our Xfinity Series season in career mode. We're about halfway through the season, a little more than half. We're on the 17th race. We're sitting, I think, sixth in points. We got one win, so we're locked into the playoffs here. What we're going to do here is we're going to run you through practice, qualify, and then we'll do the race. I might split this up into two different videos because I did do a longer race. But let's get into it here.
Pull them belts tight and let's get out there.
So we enter practice mode. So it gives you about an hour. Well, it gives you 1 hour. You go out, run as many laps as you want. You can come back. You can adjust your car. So that's set up here.
Needs.
You can have six custom setups. But you can also just kind of, if you don't know what you're doing, as far as car setup, you can make these changes here. They just kind of make a general broad change to the car. As it says down there, if you have a tight car, so your front tires, so say you're turning left, and you got the stick all the way to the left, but the car's still pushing up to the right or towards the wall, they call that tight. Loose is your ass head wants to kick out towards the wall. So when you come to a place like Chicago, you need to find a really good balance for that because you're constantly snapping the car left and then right and then left and then right. But you're also trying to find the right balance in there so when you come out of a turn, you're not just spinning the tires. When you spin your tires, you lose traction, you lose speed, you lose time, you lose the race. I've been working on a few different setups. I've been working on this third one here, and I know they look all very similar. So for your street races, you kind of want your front springs to be a little softer to absorb cars snapping back and forth. I've noticed throughout this game to get the most speed, you need really good grip. So at pretty much every track, you're going to see me running 13 psi on my tire pressure, which is the lowest. So more tire on the ground, more traction. But in the longer races, so if I were to do a full race, you would want to increase that a bit to save your tire life. Because if it's lower, you're going to wear out your tires faster. But I mean, if you're only doing a 4, 7, 13% race, you'll be fine. But if you're going to do a longer race, the AI is going to chew you up if you keep your tire pressure low. So yeah, we're going to keep those down. Our camber is basically how much the wheel is angled in or out of the car. You don't want too much of an angle because there's not really any banking here. It's a real flat track. When you get into your bump and rebound settings, your bump setting is the compression. So like when you hit a bump, you're on the road, your bump setting controls how fast the shock absorber compresses when you hit a bump. So like think of a spring of a car. So if your setup is low, they'll I'm trying to explain this because I just learned it not too recently. Basically, if they're too stiff, the car will kind of bounce when you're snapping around. You don't want the car to bounce because when you bounce, your tires come off the racing surface and lose traction and speed. If they're too stiff, no, I'm sorry, I just did stiff. If they're too soft, the chassis will actually bottom out on the racetrack, and you'll lose all your grip. So it's a huge learning curve trying to figure out all these settings. And there's a different setting you run at every single track. See here, I've all my different setups for the different tracks. So that's for those. Your sway bar. So you have a front and rear sway bar. Think of it just like kind of a rod that goes across the front, and there's one in the back. If it's stiffer, the car won't be able to lean or roll as much when you go into turns because it has a stiff bar. If you decrease it, the car will be able to roll a bit more, which can help you, but also hurt you. And you go from 0 up to 2.5 inches. I forgot where I was at. I think I was at 125. Your wheel lock is basically how far your wheels will turn left or right. Your brake bias. This controls how much of your brakes are in the front or the rear brakes. So this setting is here for the front. So if I take it all the way down to 50%, that splits the braking 50-50 from the front and the back. If I increase it, it gives me more front brake. More front brake gives you more stopping power. But it's just like any other car. The harder you brake, the less turning power you have, because these tires, they don't have ABS, so they will lock up. If your tires are locked up, you're not turning. They're just sliding straight. So you have the 50-50, you can lose your rear end. It'll get kind of squirrely on you when you go into brake. So this track I'm running 54, 56, 58% around there. The rear end ratio is basically the higher the number, the faster your acceleration. The lower the number, the higher speed you can achieve, but you'll be slower off the line. Your wedge distributes weight, forgot exactly where, but it distributes weight. And it's, if the car's too tight, remember that's your front end pushing towards the wall, you want to reduce your wedge. But if you're too loose, you want to increase that wedge. We're going to start off here at a 50. Left weight is basically how much weight, where the weight balance is. If you're running an oval track where you're just turning left all the time, you want it to be maxed out at 53%. But when you do your road courses, you want it somewhere at 50 or right around 50. We're going to run slightly lower. The nose weight is basically that, how much weight is adjusted towards the front of the car. More nose weight will give your tires more pressure to grip. You'll have better turning, but you could also make the car a lot tighter. Your steering offset is basically, think of it this way, if you're at 0, my tires are perfectly straight. If I offset it plus or minus, that will have them turn to the left or to the right starting out, so they won't be perfectly straight. And then you got the rear sway bar there. That's the same thing. It helps the rear roll. Less, more roll, more equals it'll be stiffer. So we're going to run out and try a lap with these settings here. Now this is a practice session. I will be the only car on the track. When I go into qualifying, you qualify in groups at the road courses. So when I go into a qualifying session, I'll have a 20-minute timer. I can go out, and your qualifying time is basically your fastest lap. And then the next group goes out, and then they merge those times.
Let's rock and roll. See what this hot rod can do. Don't hold back now, driver.
So this is a very fun, but also very challenging track. Let's turn our spotter voice down because I don't really need to hear him right now. There's also advanced controls you can do. These will change from track to track. I won't go too much into explaining these because these I am still learning what they all do myself. But I am working on learning these, and I am changing them from track to track, and they do make a difference in how you drive, and it does help your yeah, it helps your driving really. You can make it so if you're playing on a controller like I am, like if you mash R2 for your throttle instead of the car immediately responding to that, and you may be spinning your tires, you can make a setting here that if I mash it, the game will automatically recognize that and will gradually apply my throttle instead of just letting me spin my tires. Same thing with a brake. You can adjust it so if I mash L2 for brake, instead of locking up my tires, it'll gradually apply that pressure and will help me prevent locking up my tires and turn a little bit better. And you have your dead zone, which basically you'll want to increase that if you have maybe you got a little bit of stick drift, or if your thumb's real twitchy on that. This will give you a little more play in that. But I keep it at 0 to get the most response. Overshoot, I hear him explaining it when I said I wasn't going to. Overshoot, this is really helpful if you're playing on a controller versus a racing wheel. If you have a racing wheel, you can actually turn that racing wheel almost 360 degrees, like a normal car wheel. But with a controller, you're playing with the joysticks, I mean, those can only move so far. So what the overshoot does is it kind of makes up for that if you want. I can adjust it so my controller joystick puts in the same amount of input as a racing wheel would. Like I said, I'm still trying to learn this, so I probably didn't explain that too great. But anyway, let's get out to our first practice lap here.
Stay on your blend line here.
Like I said, it's a fun track. It's a cool track. I really like that they did the races here for the 2 years that they did. If you can hear it, my tires starting to lock up from me applying a little too much brake. Now if I were to go up to this 90-degree turn here and just mash it, my tires are locked and I'm not turning that well. So your road courses, it all comes down to your finger control on the trigger. Just like they do when they're out here racing, they're not just mashing down on the throttle or brake. You're going to bump the wall a few times. The game has a setting now in it that if you hit the wall, it drastically drops your speed. And I suspect, I call it the Chastain setting. A few years back at Martinsville Speedway, guy named Ross Chastain was a few positions behind, and he needed to make up those positions to continue his run in the playoffs. And it was the last lap, and he was going into the last corner. I think he needed to make up 2 or 3 spots, so what he did was slam the car into 5th gear, planted his foot on the accelerator, and pushed the car into the wall and rode the wall around the corner. And he made up the spots. Yeah, this is not going to be a good lap. And he made it to the playoffs. Didn't end up winning overall, but NASCAR went and made that move illegal. You can't do that anymore. And Ross said he did that because he learned it playing on his, I think it's the GameCube, one of the NASCAR games, where you just threw it in the wall and slid around. My suspicion is that they do that in the game to prevent you from doing that, because it is, I guess, an unfair advantage. Yeah, we're still front end's pushing there. Our first lap, we're 5 seconds off our target time. That goal is set based on my sponsor goal is to finish 3rd place or higher. So if I hit that 1:35.278 time, that'll put me at least in 3rd place. I do struggle with the road courses. I haven't had one yet where I've been able to hit my target goal. This will be a little bit better per lap. Some of these turns, if the car's not turning quite right at the end, I will use a little bit of throttle to kick the rear end around. You gotta be careful doing that, because you could completely lose traction and spin the car out. Really got to keep an eye on your tire wear. I do have mine, I think, running at a ×2 rate than normal. But yeah, with our tire pressures being as low as they are, we're gonna wear our tires much faster. If you're using your manual shifting, you gotta be careful coming through here because it is bumpy and the elevation changes, so you spin your car out real easily. Yeah, lock them up. You see my arrow is damaged. That's going to affect our speed a little bit. That would matter more on an oval course where we're going for speed. Tracks like this, you want more control is faster than just having a really aerodynamic vehicle. Right there, we got a little loose coming out, spun our tires, and that cost us speed. Here on the right, we're looking for the markers, braking markers, so we hard brake right before the four there, and we kind of trail off the brake. Slowly get back into our throttle so we don't spin our rear tires. We'll make some few adjustments. Get out and try it again.
How's it going out there?
So we're feeling a little squirrely on our turn exit. There's a lot of adjustments we can make to correct that. Let's see.
Let us know what the car needs.
Bump these up. One click each. See if that helps. I drop my right rear tire. That'll give me a little more grip. And we're going to increase our brake bias a bit. We'll add a little bit more to our rear sway bar and see what that does.
Need any adjustments?
Every time you go and make those adjustments, like you come off track, you obviously get new tires and it resets all your damage gets fixed. I'm gonna go for time and we'll see how we do. Too bad on that lap. See if we can get through this turn without hitting that one. There we go.
How's it going out there? All right, let's make some adjustments.
All right, let's see. Go ahead and drop that tire down. I'll add a little more brake bias to the front.
How's the car, boss? Settle in, find your rhythm, and we'll build from there.
Notice the more bias I put towards the front, the later I can brake when I'm approaching a corner. We'll go for time. I did a little bit too early there on that turn. This is not going to be a good lap. Let's try that again. There we go. I think after this lap, we'll move on to qualifying and I'll show you what that looks like. right, I think we got that about as dialed as we can get. We'll move on and have a look what qualifying
How's the
looks
car
like.
feeling so far?
As the session comes to a close, let's take a look at
So,
the results.
I practice. There's no way I cross the track. Obviously, when I'm done, it calculates what their practice time would be. Right now, sitting 12th overall, which isn't terrible.
Give me your best lap out there. Track's clear, car's ready. Time to show them why we're here.
So while we qualify, the other drivers in my group are going to be out here qualifying too. So it's good practice for having other cars on the track, but it can also hinder your time if I'm faster than all the other cars in my group, because then I'll have to try to go around them and past them. It's going to cost me time. I'm going to have to try to get around these cars.
Left side, clear left. Right side. Clear right. Left side, clear all around. Right side. Left side.
See those cars in front of me slow my lap time down. That's going to not be good.
Left side. Clear left. Left side. Clear left. Right side. Clear right. Right side. Left side. Clear left.
This lap should be a little bit better. I got a clean track ahead of me. That's gonna hurt. It's gonna be okay until I hit the wall there. That tire wear looking not too bad. We got real loose coming off the corner there. Real squirrely. Probably be our last lap, and then we'll head into the race.
Leaders on pit road.
I think we got the best lap that we could get. We're going to go ahead and wrap up qualifying here.
All right, let's put one on the board here.
And see where we fall.
Let's take a look at the results of this
So
session.
in our group, I was 6th overall.
As the session comes to
And
a
then once
close,
they merged Group
let's
1
take a
and
look
Group
at
2
the
together, we're starting 10th, which isn't terrible. It's one of the better starts I've had on a road course. I think we're getting kind of long on this video as it is, so we're going to break this up into a part 2. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on race day.